Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kaale. For those of you guys that are new here, I create vlogs, tutorials, and chats. And today I am joined by the gorgeous Rizapo.
Hi, welcome to Kaale's channel. What did you say? Welcome back. What did you say?
Yeah, welcome back.
Oh, welcome to all welcome back.
Yeah.
My dear. Welcome to our welcome back.
By creating an imaginary picture. Usually it's something that moves.
She does great content. She does mostly chat videos that I've seen and some vlogs. If you're the type of person that likes watching wedding type of vlogs or traveling type of vlogs, head on there. Head on because you're missing out.
You heard that.
Yeah. So I'll leave her handles on the screen and in the description box, and then you guys can just go follow her and show her some love. It's a what they don't tell you about adulting type of video because it's about time.
It's about time because that's the road that many of you are facing.
And it's rough out there, guys. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not dry. We have some drinks.
We do.
Courtesy of Rizapo, and snacks. Osha. Although belt no.
Yeah, something.
Something. So we're just gonna start, man, because I feel like it's gonna be a long. I like talking, like, and then my voice goes
Shadowbox.
and then it's like, why is it gone? But anyway, but adulting to me means like a constant and conscious decision for you to ultimately be responsible for your life as a whole.
Adulting. That's adulting.
Adulting.
Okay.
That's what I understand it to be. And then adulthood is like living life as a mature adult.
So it's like adulting is like, is it a verb? English lessons. Like I'm busy adulting.
Yeah, it's like
and
a
then
process.
Adulthood is like I'm in it.
In it, like it's like a space kind of.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah,
makes
like
sense.
a
makes
space
sense,
way.
makes sense.
Yeah. We just basically have a couple of things that we're going to touch on.
I've never actually thought
of it.
that adulting and adulthood is not the same
Oh,
thing.
okay.
Like for me, it's just adult, like adulting, adulthood.
Yeah. No, I get that. So the first one is expectations versus reality.
Of being an adult.
Yeah.
Like
of being an adult.
Sure. Okay. Honestly, I think the one thing about adulthood is that you are in a space where you have to figure things out on your own, right? I think for the most part when we were growing up, as kids, it's like I can't wait to be an adult. Or I can't wait to become big so that I can be able to buy my own snacks, my own whatever. But it's really not as easy as we used to feel like it would be. You have to figure things out and there's nobody to correct you because it's your life. You are choosing your life, and like I'm saying, this is nobody to correct you. Like when you had to go out now, you obviously had to tell mom that you're going somewhere.
Yeah.
Me, I just walk out, whether it's a good place that I'm going to, whether it's like I just go. And it's like there's nobody that tells me what time I'm supposed to come back home. So it's almost like that shield that we had or have as children, it's just not there as an adult. And I don't know. It's rough, guys. It's rough. So I don't know if I'm answering your question or if I'm like giving you that whole expectation versus reality. But I think it's really tougher than we make it out to be.
Example, it was also according to your experience.
Also that, and also the thing of like every single decision that you make, like even the time that you wake up in the morning, it affects your life so badly. Like every single decision that you make as an adult, when it comes to even parenting, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to the works, guys, every single decision that you make. So it's almost like you can't even just make a decision just because you feel. You can't be impulsive.
Yeah, no.
You can't be impulsive as an adult.
Yeah. For me, expectations versus reality always just played on the chords of like a fairy tale. Because growing up, we were sold dreams. We were sold dreams, to be honest.
They sold us dreams.
I mean, you were allowed to dream and be like, okay, when I grow up, I want to buy my car at what age? I want to be married at what age? I want to go away. I want to travel.
There's
I want to be
financial
able
aspect.
to afford all those things. And then when you actually step into that, you start realizing, Shani, what is the necessity of life, and what can I afford? And I used to, when I was younger, I used to say, okay, I want to buy my own car. But look at that, where I am now. Reckless spending was part of all these things.
Yes.
So for me, that was like, I think that was how I looked at it when it comes to it. And then you have people that are really doing it. You feel like they're selling your dreams.
Yes.
But then the circumstances that they have and where you are coming from,
it's not the same. It's really not the same. And I think now that you're saying it, it's also that whole thing of like, what is it, like the grade 12 learners? Those ones that are saying, I'm going to graduate in 3 years, get married. And should we tell them, or is it too early?
I prefer the road that I've been through rather than the things that I wrote down when I was in grade 12. Because I feel like it opens your eyes. Minosha, you think, okay, fine, maybe in university, after 3 years I'm done. But then, for some people, it would be a shortcut. For some people, it's really just straight where they're supposed to be going.
And it's so true. And I think when you are mentioning that you prefer the road, this one that you're on, it refines you in a different way.
Yeah, it does.
It does, like, because it's like the hard knocks, all these things there. It just it makes you different, man.
Yeah. I think
really
it also
makes
adds
you
on the
different.
title, because instead of being Kaale, the girl that finished university in 3 years, now you're like Kaale that got her learner's license or her driver's license, that partook in non-NGO, what do you call it, charity funds, that raised money for one. That's
something.
It adds more.
It adds more.
Yeah,
it's so true.
Yeah.
So true.
Another one is changes in moral views. Okay, we had a conversation earlier on this. Just to I feel like where I'm coming from in this one, changes in moral views. When you're growing up, everything that is instilled in you, it's how either your parents or the society saw the world to be, and how they wanted you to see the world, or the better way of seeing it, or lenses and stuff like that. Ogusha, my first example would be the law itself. You're taught if you kill somebody, you're going to jail.
Straight.
You're going to be prosecuted, especially if you're found guilty, and then going to jail. But that does not necessarily apply to everybody on this planet or in our country.
Also, when it comes to the moral views as well, guys, getting a job. Getting a job. Yeah, no, you must know someone that knows someone that knew somebody that knows another person. The surnames. They are just surnames where this one is like, shame.
And nepotism now, when you're older, nepotism now works more to your advantage than when you were younger. So growing up, nepotism was like, what is that? We don't like that. We don't do that. Nepotism, ew. It was a thing of work hard and then you get into the gate. And now it's a thing of nepotism. You cannot go anywhere without nepotism, even if it's a tiny bit.
No,
you need it in your life.
No, for everything, guys, for everything. And also, this is not to to disregard the people that are really doing it without any connections or without any whatever. But it's like the majority of things, you just have to know somebody. That's really just how it is.
It's a lot that has to go into that. I'm just saying, the way you see the world now, it's different.
Maturity in adulting. When you're saying maturity in adulting, like, what is it?
I feel like you obviously learn to see things with the mature eye. Like, when you were told, okay, wash dishes, it's your turn to wash dishes. We used to complain, or at least I used to complain. I know it's my turn to wash dishes, but I would still complain to my mother, and she would still look at me like, you have to do it either way. Mama knows my way, but
you're still gonna end up doing it.
But now it's like I see it as a thing of therapy. Okay, I know I have a lot going up there, but it's like it's different. I feel like now you just look at things that it has to be done. There's no point in complaining about it. The growth in that, let me say.
Okay, the maturity in adulting, I feel, is I think something where you sort of have to find a balance, because you also don't want to take life too seriously.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to be a stuck-up person. You don't want to be. It's like everything must just be stuck like that.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you should be able to find a balance. Yeah. Some people would say a mature person is somebody that probably has a job, or a mature person is somebody that is passing their model. I don't think there's a definite definition for maturity in adulthood.
Yeah. It also comes from how you were raised also. I feel like
Yes.
yeah, I feel like it also
Very
comes
true.
from
Very
how you were
true.
raised and the thing of not taking life so seriously. Because you find people that can be mature but then they're like jokesters.
Yo, crap just I'm
Or,
telling you.
you know, like, or they're total clowns. They're
yeah,
like
no, really.
the clowns, but they have things together, like they have
It's
their life
so,
together.
so true. It's really true.
Being serious with what you want, like your goal and
focus.
focused and all that. I think when it comes to adulting, I feel like it's a very hard thing to maintain.
Yes,
I feel like
it
when
is.
it comes to this now, maturity and adulting, I feel like that is one thing that is really hard to maintain. Friendships and relationships, things that they don't tell you when it comes to adulting.
There's this, is it a code that says the higher you climb, the more whatever people you shut off or whatever the case may be. And I think this might not necessarily be when it comes to success or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's also just when it also comes to adulting because you are growing up, you are aging, you are becoming a different person or whatever the case. And for most of the times, the friends that we had is because we were in the same class.
Yeah.
And then you get to high school and then okay, maybe there you get a clique or whatever. Then you get to varsity and then it's like okay, study groups or whatever. Now you're out of varsity, now you are working, and then it's like, hey, but this friendship thing ain't like what is it? Like what is friendship though?
Yeah.
Personally, that is the one thing I'm struggling to define.
Oh really?
I have a friendship series on my channel, but and I have that because I feel like friendship is just hard, you guys.
Yeah.
Friendship is hard.
It is hard.
Friendship, I think maybe that's where the maturity has to come in. I think my friendships are very seasonal.
Okay.
My friendships are seasonal based on where I am in life or what I'm going through, whatever the case may be.
I am part of the struggling with friendship squad. I have been part of that group for a very, very long time. I've subscribed to the WhatsApp and you know, I add every other time on the conversations. Mainly because I'm still learning to come out of that people pleasing shell. One thing that I've realized that I stopped doing when it comes to people pleasing is putting them first in the sense of texting, calling, showing up even, checking up and stuff like that. And it's difficult. I'm not gonna lie, it's difficult because there's this urge. It's like, why? Don't know why.
Yeah.
Did she wake up fine? Or you know, this other person was in hospital, and you know, showing up one day is not enough. You know, I still have those urges, but then I constantly have to remind myself that if the person needs you, they're gonna let you know.
100%.
And if they don't, then it's fine, and you shouldn't feel terrible about that. That's what they don't tell you about adulting. That you have to choose your battles, and then you have to choose when to show up. When to show up. I feel like that's what they.
We are mentioning this when to show up thing. Was it last year? I was coming from maternity leave, starting work the next day, and it was my cousin's birthday in that week. So I felt okay, let's go or let me take her for a photo shoot. Because the birthday was during the week. Because the birthday is during the week and what. I was even the one who suggested it. I went to sit with her at the salon and stuff. And when I was sitting at the salon, it dawned on me that, but shouldn't I be with my baby right now?
Yeah.
I mean, this is my last day on maternity leave. I'm going back to work tomorrow, and I chose to be here instead of being with my baby.
Yeah.
And I just diagnosed that I'm a what's the word?
Overcarer.
Is it overcaring? Yeah, I think it's overcaring.
And people pleasing maybe.
Not what is people pleasing?
When
It can be. It can be like people okangurishati.
Yeah.
It can be. And I diagnosed myself and I told myself since that day I was just like, no man, like why must I always be the one to be like dry my cup, suck me dry?
Yeah.
Like why must I always be that person? So I think you get to learn also a lot about yourself as an adult, and if you've not done that, it's time you do it. Like just what is it? Recognize your part and then in your friendships. Also,
a lot of the times, if you have not noticed it, people will show you your position or your seat in their lives very fast, very quickly, and especially when it comes to events, especially when it comes to like things like birthdays, especially when it comes to like big celebrations most of the time. it's just small conversations that has to do with anything of that sort.
You will know.
You will know where you stand in their lives.
will know.
The flip side of this is that you also need to learn to be okay with where you stand in their lives.
100%. Before we continue, M1, this is something that I've been thinking about. I don't know if I should say relationships, but I also think it's relationships and friendships. Kushabinu, look, man, believe people the first time.
Believe them the very
The
first time.
first time.
The
Don't.
face they show you, believe them. How they
The
approach you,
first time.
whatever tone they use, whatever words they use, the command in their voice, in their text, in their
I don't
call.
believe them.
Believe them.
The first time.
I'm
Even
telling
if they
you,
say
that will help
sorry,
you.
even if they say I was going through things, even if they say let's start over the first time, I believe them, guys. What's the next point?
Sacrifices.
I'm actually loving this conversation, guys. Sacrifices and priorities. Sacrifices and priorities. In church, we have this thing called, what is it? It's proton. I think it's a Greek word. Papo, is it a Greek word? Okay, but proton means first things first, right? So I think priorities is the balancing of life or whatever the case. Okay, but because it's in church, so it's just that God should come first in your life, and then like that. So priorities is, I don't know. I feel it switches.
Yeah.
It switches. It's not always
constant.
Constant. It's not always a thing of, okay, my daughter comes first, and then my job or my school or my spiritual life. It juggles. Like sometimes it's my daughter, other times it's me, and it's 100% okay. Other times it's maybe me working on my finances. So it's almost like a thing of like every decision that you make has a whole effect on you.
Yeah.
So yes, and sacrifices, live like no other person now, so that you can live like no other person later.
Oh, okay.
So define, like if we're all being reckless with our school, like you be the person that's gonna decide that I'm not gonna go out on Friday, and everybody else is going in, and then you're not going out, and then later when everybody's failing, you are passing. So it's almost like, I don't know, be different.
Yeah.
Be the different person. If you choose to sacrifice, it's a lonely road.
It's a lonely road.
It's a lonely road.
And you will go through that a lot. That is the one thing that is constant. The sacrificing and prioritizing is different, because you're still learning what should be important when you're growing up. But then sacrificing, that is gonna be there. I feel like also growing up, that's what we had to deal with. And then your friends are going to play, but you have to come wash dishes. Or you have to make your brother food. And for us that never had babysitters, that had to babysit our younger ones, we had to stay and babysit them and help them with homework. And so that is something that is going to be there forever. I feel like with adulting, it's now when you choose, you get to choose. At least now you have a choice. What do I sacrifice? And then the whys of it. I feel, for me, the whys always help. Like, why do I need to sacrifice this? Yeah, I mean, I was reckless. Don't get me wrong. My very first year of university, I did so many things that my grandmother does not know about. But I feel
and
that
she will never
she
know.
will never know. She will never know. But it was necessary for me to come sit here and be like, yo, those gin bottles don't taste the same no more. Because now it's like, why? I don't need to drink that much. I think this also, I don't know, but maybe because this is what I went through. The sacrificing and priorities, I feel like it also played a little bit, like there were cards shown when it comes to relationships for me, and then friendships. They were just things that I had to say no to, or people that I had to say no to, and so sacrificing also came in forms like that. People will never tell you what you need to sacrifice, why you need to sacrifice.
Oh yes, no, and that's on you.
Like, that's on you.
That's on you.
And that is on you. And you need to be okay with the decision that you make.
Yeah.
Should no regrets, please let the list be short, because I feel like.
Oh yes, that is, you guys know really. I don't know how I take the whole regret, but I just feel like we just keep it moving. You do something, it's not nice, it stinks, it's disgusting. We keep it moving. I know you're gonna stay there and then say, I wish I hadn't met Kaale. Why you met the person? Move on.
This is one thing I used to tell my sister. I have two sisters. The younger one, she's wild, like my very first year and Ruby's second year.
Mm.
She's wild, and I feel like that's a character that will be part of her.
Yes.
The thing that I tell her most is that if you find yourself saying, "Okay, I wish I didn't do this," if only, what is it that made you smile in that situation? What is it that you were like, this was nice, or I can never do it again and then feel a different way. So take that away from the situation instead of I wish it never happened.
Yeah, no, that's
Okay,
that's smart right there. No, really it is. Magovi, the next point, mental health and adulting. What is it that they don't tell you about mental health and adulting? Why? No, you want to go first?
Cry.
Thank you.
You're going to cry if you're a soft
an ocean
like me. I'm a Cancer. It comes with the territory. I've just been a soft person. You're gonna cry a lot. If it's school related, if it's relationships, if it's friendships, if it's family, if it's even your own
money.
money. They will never help you when it comes to mental health. Nobody's gonna hug you long enough for you to start feeling better. Nobody's gonna hold your hand. And nobody's gonna tell you, okay, you need to see a therapist now. They're gonna wait until it's almost over.
Mental health and adulting. Therapy. Poor this whole thing of me ever thinking of going for therapy. It was never a thing, like ever. And I think with adulting, mental health goes like hand in hand. Where you are mentally determines like the space that you're in as a person, like your emotions, your outside look even and stuff. Like therapy is it helped me find myself, it helped me understand myself, it helped me deal with certain things. Childhood trauma for most of us, and I don't think there's a person in this world that does not have childhood trauma. Like it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter how you were raised or whatever the case may be, there is no person that does not have childhood trauma. So honestly, therapy as an adult is something that I would highly recommend. And also the other thing is that your mental health well-being really determines how you are as a person. I always have like these things where I just sit and I'm like reflecting on how I am doing spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. Like, am I okay? Like where I just sit and I even like just jot it down. I'm like, how am I feeling? Like mentally. And I just sit like, is my head like, am I anxious? Am I?
Yeah.
So I think doing regular checkups on yourself is also really very important, because you can get so lost in the world, and by the time you lift your eyes, like you don't even know who you are anymore. So make it a thing to just take care of you first.
We're not saying that you're not going to lose yourself.
Yes.
You will lose yourself. It's a guaranteed thing. I feel like it has to happen for you to come back again and actually start building the life that you desire, or as a lot of people get purposes and stuff. For you to do what you need to do in life as by God's plan. I think one advice that really helped me, it's from my great grandmother. She used to tell me, one, you have to have one or the other. It's not necessarily you have both all the time, but then if you don't have the one, you need to have the other. And so when it comes to like the mental health aspect of it, I felt like, I always feel like my strength always comes from family. That's now my strength.
Where
apart
you draw
from
strength
where I draw strength from, apart from obviously the Bible, God.
The worst advice you've gotten. My advice from who? But I feel is this thing that says learn from others' experiences. It's not true. It's not true. You are not me and I'm not you.
No.
I never, from the day that we were born, we are not born in the same hospital, we're not born at the same time, we're not born from the same womb. So how must I learn from your experiences? Like I must look at you, I I don't know, not being serious in university, and then learn myself from your experience.
Experiences. Yeah. Like, you may be in the same boat, but the journey.
But no, it's not
It's
the
not
same.
the
I mean,
same.
you're not even seeing the same things. You're not even feeling the same things as you're in that boat. So just how?
Yeah.
I know that one doesn't work, guys. That for me, I feel like that's just the worst thing I've heard. Learn from other people's experiences, and it can never be.
I feel like
Ever.
when it comes to adulting itself, anything that an older person tells me to do or not to do, for me, I feel I've always taken it as
Projection.
yes, and that's how I feel like for me, all of them for me are just like worst advices, because like going back to tolerances, like what I can tolerate is not the same as what you can tolerate.
Oh yes.
All those things. But then also your where you want to go. When they had a certain excuse the flies, guys. They're very excited, you know. We got meeting here. They're very excited. But find people that really want to finish school, get their degree, and then get straight into I don't want to say settling, but get straight into getting married and then having kids and then building their home, their village life, and that's literally it. That is
that is their goal.
That is their goal. You find people that want to really explore. They want to stay single for like the longest. They want to get married and not have kids early on in their lives. So the whole thing of no, you come to university, you must pass. You must not have boyfriends. You must not fall pregnant. And it always comes from aunties and great aunties and whatever.
They know best.
Yeah, it's fine. You want to make sure your nieces and your nephews and your cousins they prosper, but also know what you're telling them.
100%. Because I think one thing that I pray for about myself is for me not to raise my daughter from a place of trauma.
Yeah.
Because it's almost that now, because I didn't have certain things, it's almost like I want to just sort of force it down her throat.
Oh yeah.
And I really just pray that I don't raise my daughter from a place of trauma. So to be honest, like in me, obviously God bless our parents and our elders for, you know, always redirecting us and always being there. But it's almost like I feel like they feel like they need to tell us what to do. It's like they have the script.
Yes.
This is it.
It's just one direction. It's just like one direction.
And then if you try to sway, then they get disappointed.
Yeah. You should know also a script that was written for you. Nobody else knows that. It's only you and your God. And
Hallelujah.
if you feel like, okay, this is the direction I'm supposed to take so that I can get to where God put me in the future, do it regardless of. I'm not saying disrespect the elders. No, I'm not saying that.
Say yes and don't do it.
And then if they ask you, you just ask for forgiveness. It's best to ask for forgiveness. There's permission. But yeah, I learned a lot. If there are anything as adulting or going through adulthood that you feel like you weren't taught or told, you can definitely comment down below and then we can still have conversations. But if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Definitely subscribe. This is it, man. I had fun.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
We don't want to stop speaking, but
we
we have
to.
to.
Yeah. But anyway, I'll see you guys in my next video.
Yes, bye.